Hi, I'm Natalie Benz, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the scary internet urban legend that is Slenderman. Now, I really enjoy doing research on the topic of Slenderman, although I am shocked and horrified at some of the things that I found. In this video I'm going to be covering a wide range of topics relating to Slenderman, who he is, what he looks like, what he does to his victims, where he came from, and also a real life stabbing that occurred in the name of Slenderman. So let's get into it. In 2009, mysterious photographs started circulating the internet. These were photographs of children in schoolyards and playgrounds, and in the background of these photographs was this tall, ghostly figure known as Slenderman. Slenderman is an extremely tall supernatural creature that looks human-like, apart from the fact that he's extremely tall with extremely unnaturally long arms. He can extend his arms to intimidate or capture his prey. He wears a black suit and his face is very pale. It's white with no features. So it's just blank white where his face should be. And in some images, he's depicted as having tentacles coming from his back. It was rumoured that the people who took these photographs and the children in the photographs disappeared without a trace. They were never seen again. And these disappearances were blamed on Slenderman. According to research that I did online, Slenderman can change his appearance at will, he can move around invisibly, and he can also teleport anywhere in the world by bending space and time. So what happens to Slenderman's victims? Now, when I was researching this topic, I found many different versions. So I'm going to go through those versions with you now. Some say that before Slenderman kills his victims, he befriends them and then lures them to their deaths with offers of kindness and sympathy. Others say that he stalks his victims whilst he's invisible and then gives them slender sickness. The symptoms include nausea, nosebleeds, hallucinations, nightmares, and extreme paranoia. It is said that originally Slenderman killed his victims by impaling them onto branches of very tall trees and just letting them bleed to death. Some say that he impales his victims with his long fingers, stabbing their vital organs. Some say that he removes their vital organs. Others say that not only does he remove their vital organs, but he hangs them up in plastic bags. Another version is that he removes your organs and then ties them in long, thin knots. Another version is that he eats his victims, and of course he has no features on his face. He has no face, essentially, so he doesn't have a mouth. But as I said at the start, some claim that he can transform his appearance. So maybe he transforms his appearance to have a mouth with the sharp teeth to eat his victims. Some say he takes his victims to another dimension. Another version is that Slenderman does not directly kill his victims. Instead, he encourages others to do this for him, to please him or to stop him from hurting their families. This version is important to a story I'm going to tell you at the end. So where did this whole Slenderman thing come from? So at the start of this video, I talked about the mysterious photographs that were circulating the internet. Well, in 2009, on a forum called Something Awful, there was a thread, a challenge, asking people to submit photographs, normal photographs that they had photoshopped to make them look scary. So what they wanted was a regular photograph with something scary added to it to make it look as real as possible. So they could add ghosts or ghouls or monsters, you get the idea. The thread was called Create Paranormal Images. And the images that I spoke about at the start of this video were submitted by a user by the name of Victor Surge. That was just his internet name. His real name was Eric Knudsen. So he entered his artwork, his photoshopped photos onto this thread of children playing with Slenderman in the background, a figure that he had created. These photos went viral in photos, in videos, and even in games. People around the world even started claiming that they had seen the Slenderman. There were real claims of Slenderman sightings. Now, the scariest thing about this for me is what I'm about to share with you. A real life story of a stabbing that occurred in the name of Slenderman. On the 30th of May 2014, 3 best friends had a slumber party. These best friends were Morgan Geyser, Anissa Wire, and Peyton Lutner. These 3 best friends were 12 years old at the time. The slumber party seemingly went fine, all 3 girls had fun. It was the next day that things took a very dark turn. So the next day comes along and Morgan and Anissa suggest that the 3 girls go to the park and then go to the woods to play a game of hide and seek. Peyton agreed, so they all headed down. And when they got to the woods, Peyton was stabbed 19 times. From what I found online, it was Anissa that commanded that Morgan stab her. So it was Morgan that actually did the stabbing, but they were both equally involved. Peyton was reportedly screaming in agony, and then the 2 girls told her to lay down while they go get help. As soon as the girls were out of sight, Peyton managed to pull herself up and walk until she found a patch of grass that she could lay down on, and she was then found covered in blood by a cyclist who dialed 911. Peyton was of course rushed to hospital, and surgeons told her if the stab wound inflicted by the knife had gone in a width of a human hair deeper, she would not have survived. Peyton spent 6 days in hospital, but thankfully she fully recovered, physically at least. Now, when I was doing my research on this, I found footage of video interviews with Morgan and Anissa, and I have to say I found these extremely disturbing. They didn't seem to be remorseful or really care what they'd done. I don't know, it was very difficult to watch. The way they spoke about what they had done, it was more matter of fact. And I'm going to read you some quotes from these interviews of what Morgan and Anissa said whilst they were being interrogated and questioned by detectives. Morgan: Anissa said that we had to do it or he will kill our families. She was then asked who she was talking about, and Morgan replies with, I quote, a man. I didn't know him, but Anissa knew him. Jumping over to another interview with Anissa. Anissa, quote, there's this website called the Creepypasta Wiki. It's full of horror stories that are meant to purposely scare you. And there is one of them called Slenderman. Morgan said that he's this tall, faceless man who preys on children. Now you can, of course, if you want to, go ahead and watch these interviews for yourselves and do your own research, because I'm sure there's a lot more than what I've relayed to you. But here is the quote that chills me the most. And this is from an interview with Morgan. Detective, quote, did you feel bad that you stabbed one of your best friends? Morgan, I thought about it, but then I decided that remorse would get me nowhere. It's easier to live without regrets. I mean, there's just so much wrong with this. These girls were all 12 years old and they stabbed someone and left her for dead. They admitted that when they told her they were going to get help, they admitted to the detectives later they had no intention of getting help. They were just leaving her because they were found on a roadside somewhere. They'd been walking for like 5 hours, I think it was. They were just getting the hell out of there. They intended to kill her. Also, the fact that these 12-year-old girls could be so influenced by a fictional character that they would commit an act or a crime of this nature is just awful. And if you were wondering what happened to Morgan and Anissa, they were both found not guilty by mental disease or defect, and by February of 2018 were sentenced to long periods in mental health institutes. Okay, so there's a lot to process here. I would love to know what you think. I've given some of my opinions, but I would love to know what you guys think. Please comment below and let me know what you think of the internet urban legend that is Slenderman, what you think of the photographs, what you think of the stabbing that took place. Any comments that you would like to share, either with me or amongst each other, please comment them below, and I can't wait to read what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up. That would be awesome. And also, if you're not yet subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button and join our YouTube family here, where we love all things creepy, freaky, spooky, strange, weird and wonderful and unusual, all that good stuff. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time I upload a video. And if you're already a part of this YouTube family, thank you so much for sticking around. And remember, always keep an open mind. Now I'm going to make a lovely cup of tea, so I will see you in my next video.